You are listening to StoryMakers, the podcast for women who are ready to step into their true identity, live with meaningful purpose, find belonging and connection, grow in leadership, and walk boldly in faith. Here you can uncover the story that you were created to live because you were made for such a time as this. I know in the beginning of this podcast, like the first episodes, I kind of laid out who I am, what I'm doing here, what's the goal of this show, and some of my backstory just to share who I am with you. And I know I talked about being a story maker, but I think we need to talk more about who a story maker is again. And I look around and see all of these women who I know that internally I identify with them. I just went through the drive-through line at the coffee shop and I saw these women. They're walking out of, I think it's like some kind of bar class or Pilates or something like that. And I see them all walking out separately and they've got their yoga mat and they have their water bottles and they're all walking to their cars alone. And I think, gosh, it's just such a shame that they're not walking out together. And I know life happens and sometimes you don't want to be with somebody else. Sometimes you've just got things to do and you're in your own space and your own brain and you've got to get somewhere and pick up a kid or get to work or whatever you're doing. And I think there's all of these places where women come together, but I know that we leave that place feeling lonely. We leave or we never find a place to be with other women or, still feel the loneliness, or we leave and still feel the confusion over lots of areas of our lives and hopelessness in other areas. And we feel the overwhelm of doing life without the support of a village. I really want to create a space for that village to manifest, to grow, to thrive. I'm gathering women who listen here in the StoryMakers podcast. I'm building out the StoryMakers Lab. It's a membership library for women where you can find the resources and connection for your real life and daily needs. Things like identity shift guide, when you're going through that place where you wake up and you suddenly realize that who you have been is not who you want to keep being. And you wake up to that and you start becoming aware of areas in your life you've let go, you've let boundaries be moved, things like that. Areas that you've sacrificed in the past that you don't want to continue to sacrifice anymore. Then you can start kind of like dismantling things that are going on that have happened in your life and questioning things and there's 6 different stages of an identity shift. And I have a guide in there for that. Specifically, I also have guides for wives who are going through that and for the husbands who are watching it happen and being impacted by it. So things like that, conversation guides, like how to sit down and actually walk through, especially with somebody who's your significant other, laying out a conversation of big decision making or how to clarify what you want and need as you were communicating with one another, things like that. Just the everyday stuff that I feel like, well, number one, they didn't teach us in school. They didn't teach us in church. Our families probably didn't know enough about it to give us the skills and the tools. So I've always had such a hunger and a passion for bringing women together, but more specifically, really want to bring us together face to face in a way that promotes truth and honesty and compassion and very, very intentionally promotes hope. So the need that I see in the world, what I see in women today, the so busy, so tired, really stretched thin, longing for something deeper and more meaningful, and then at the same time a little bit afraid of finding something more deeper and more meaningful because it's going to require more of us, and we're already busy, tired, and stretched thin. you know I feel that. I even in just thinking about gathering women face to face, I think, gosh, I'm busy and tired and stretched thin sometimes, and like, am I able to actually give myself to that? I have to say it's a sacrifice to commit to something when you're already busy, tired, and stretched thin. You sacrifice what's left of you to go get something that is deeper and more meaningful, because that deeper, more meaningful place will be part of what fills you up when you feel busy, tired, and stretched thin. You know, Ecclesiastes 4 says that two are better than one. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. And we're missing that in our lives. I know women who don't even have a close enough friend to call when she's sad or angry. And there's a lot of women who don't have a group, a gathering, a community of anybody to get together with when they want to celebrate something or just be honest about what's going on in their lives. We don't have that. As connected as we are in the lie of the internet, as many friends and followers and likes are out there, we are so lacking the actual communion of friends and companions. We don't have that. I hate that for us. Like, hate that with a passion for us. We need the two because it's better than the one. And when I fall down, I need somebody to help me get up. And I want to be able to help others get up. That's actually the point of my coaching business and ministry and my podcasts is I want to help you get up. And if I can just reach out to you and tell you that I'm in support of you and I will help to equip you the best that I can. If we never meet, it doesn't matter. Like, if I can give you something here or in the StoryMakers Lab or in the Christian Life Coach Collective podcast or any of my coaching opportunities, like whatever I can do to sow into you so I can equip you, resource you, promote you, and send you out to what you're called to do in a way that helps you thrive in your life. Like, I lay aside all the other things so I can do that. That's my passion and my calling. I want to be there for you because I believe in you, because you were like one of those women I saw when I was in the coffee drive-through line. Like, I know that you're like her. In some way, you are looking for someone to pay attention. That's okay. I was a little girl who never felt like I had the attention of my family because there were so many other traumas going on. I felt little and left behind and neglected. And I can still face that today. I still have roots that God's constantly digging up, and I still have things that he's pruning in my life that are attached to that desire. It's not wrong to want your attention from your parents. It's not wrong to want attention from God. It's not wrong to want our spouse to give us attention. When we get out of alignment with that is when we start living from a powerless place, as though without their attention, we will die. Or without their attention, we have to go create our own. It's just the place where, like anything else in our lives, we just have to look to the Lord and say, please heal that in me. And what do you say is the truth? And who do you say I am? And what do you want to do with this, Lord? How do you want to use this in my life? There is such a division between true community and the digital connection that our brains think is real. And I've been using John Eldridge's new app called Pause. I highly recommend it to you. And in it, a lot of it, he talks about the deception of the internet. And I'm like, preach, John. Yes. The deception of the internet, it is pretty intense in our lives, and our kids are suffering from it, and their kids also will suffer from it. Obviously, it's great and it's terrible. Like anything can be overused, misused, it becomes a liability. But looking at the biblical community, historical community of women who gathered at the well, gathered around tables, gathered in prayer, and gathered just in a circle of belonging. And I know I think about in school and jobs and things like that, how one woman would say, oh, it's just a clique. They've got their little clique over there. Well, I think what's happened is there are women who find a sense of purpose and belonging together, and that's healthy, and it should be normal. And what happens is when we don't fit in that clique, we feel left out, we feel separated. So then we judge the clique for having found something that we don't have. When I think what we should do is say, look at that. Look what's possible. There are some women who are happy together and they are connected and they have found a community and they're not leaving me out. I just haven't, first of all, introduced myself, or second of all, I haven't shown that I belong there. I don't even know if I do. But I want something like that. I wonder if I could be the one who intentionally does the work to create a community like that. And it's not inclusive. It's not exclusive. It can include other people. But here's the deal, like, people gather and connect around something specific. So I have lots of friends who are in one circle who we really care about this thing together. And then friends over here, and we really care about this thing together. Maybe one would be like my prayer warriors, and the other ones are my homeschoolers, and then the other ones are my coaches, right? And some of them may cross over, but a lot of them won't because they don't know each other, or that's not what they're passionate about. And that is just all okay. And there's a lot of circles of women I don't fit into and I don't belong in. And that is okay. At this stage of my life, I have come to recognize that it's totally fine that I don't fit in everybody else's group. I'm not everybody's flavor, and they're not. Not everybody's my favorite flavor. It's okay. But gathering meets the need of our soul in that place of belonging, and it brings hope into those places where we're weary. That was weird. We're weary. Where we are weary. We're busy, tired, and stretched too thin, So what I want to do here, gather the voices, the stories, and the possibilities, the models and examples, and the hope. And I want to put things in the StoryMakers Lab that are next steps for you, a place to gather resources, wisdom, encouragement, connection. And I'm actually building out a place where inside of one of those modules, the belonging module, I'm going to build out a place where you can grab a framework of how you can begin to mentor people, begin to gather people, begin to identify who you are and like what you can bring to the table. I want to show you how simple it is to gather people. And whether you've ever done it or not, whether you think you have something to say or you believe you don't have anything to say, I'm going to support and equip you there. Each one of you have a story that matters. You have a message inside of you that you could share, and it just needs to be cultivated and it needs to have a container to be put into. And then there's so many women out there who wish they had somebody like you inviting them in. And it doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be this big, scary, looming thing that if you do it, you have to do it forever. I'm going to show you how to gather women face to face. And you can do it online. You can do it in a Facebook group. You can have Zoom calls. You can make it really simple and you can make it fun. You can make it deep. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But I want to give you the tools because I want to see a global gathering of women who start knowing who they are and walking in their true identity, start finding their deeper purposes in life, and start finding where they belong and how they belong in not just one place, but many places. And there's a greater impact and influence when you step into those things. And I want to help you do it from a place of strong self-leadership, which helps you step into that place of, I'm a daughter of the King. I'm not a sister who's competing and comparing and there's no infighting. I know that I am my dad's favorite because I'm his chosen and beloved daughter. Like, I want you to have that. And then you step into a place of leadership where you're leading others as you become the voice of a mother spiritually and relationally. And to become a mother and have the voice of a mother, you have to be operating from the place of a daughter, not an orphan or a slave, but a friend of God, a true daughter who knows she's adopted and turns to her dad and says, who am I? What do you want me to know? What do you want me to do? And search me, oh God. Show me what's in my heart. Show me if there's anything unclean, anything impure, and grow me, heal me, transform me. Turn me into a healthy, wholehearted daughter who can become a mother and a voice to many. Just those in front of me, the ones that you send me, Lord. If that's anything in your heart, a desire that you have to be a voice to even just one person in front of you, the one that God puts in front of you to show love to, then I invite you to that. And I want you to just sign up for the wait list for the StoryMakers Lab when it opens, and just get on the wait list for that so you will get an email. And I'm filling it up right now. I'm just building things. I'm taking resources and putting them in there. There's all these modules that are really exciting to me. Of course, identity, purpose, belonging, self-leadership, leadership of others, leading others, spirit-led life. There's going to be things like declarative prayers that you can pray. And there's so much goodness in there. And it's not just for me, like other people are speaking into it and creating resources for you. And then in the future, I hope to build ways where you can actually connect with one another. But we're going to do a live Zoom call. If you are a member of the lab, then you'll be invited to a live Zoom call where somebody comes on and speaks, or we'll do workshops. We'll have guests come share their story and their testimony and build your faith, and just so many good things. And I want to see you in there, and I hope to be able to resource you. You can always go and leave me a message at Coach Laura Malone on Instagram. You can email me, and you can reach out and let me know, like, what do you wish that you had? What kind of resource do you wish that you were supported with so that you could live your life on the daily at a higher level in a healthier way? What would help you be more wholehearted that I could talk about here on the podcast or put in the lab? I want literally, I want your input. I want to help you thrive in your life right where you are. So bless you, friends. I just pray a blessing over you, your health, your finances, your children, your work, your passion, and your identity, purpose, and belonging. I bless you to start knowing who you are, what you're called to do, and who you're called to be, and where you fit in this stage of life, your sphere of influence. What does God say? I bless you to hear the word of the Lord over your life today. And I bless you to be prosperous and joyful. In Jesus' name. Love you, friend. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the show so you don't miss any new episodes. And to learn more about me, my work, and how we can connect, visit sterlingandstonementoring.com or check the show notes. And until next time, remember, all things are possible and figure outable.